This week has been a lot. Welcome to 2021. It's been a lot already. Amid stress and uncertainty, there are many tools to strengthen our mental resolve and boost well-being. Some people find solace in communing with nature or cuddled underneath their covers while reading a good book, while others find it more constructive to reach out to their social networks for both support and distraction. I've tried my fair share of cure-alls when wrestling with life's challenges. Talking in a room by yourself, what a fun way to spend your weekend. So in an effort to stave off the winter blues and to not feel like a sad winter potato, I bought myself a tiara for those moments where I need to feel a bit more sparkly and I'm still working from home in my pajamas. And of course, I don't wear real pants while filming. Exercise, meditation, social engagement, and they all have a place in my life, but no other practice has helped me more to untangle the stress mess in my mind than journaling. I like to think of journaling as a real-life pensive. If you're unfamiliar with the magical world of Harry Potter, let me educate you on this critical symbol in nerd lore. As Dumbledore once said, I use the pensive. One simply siphons out the excess thoughts from one's mind, pours them into the basin, and examines them at one's leisure. It becomes easier to spot patterns and links you understand when they're in this form. The ever-wise Albus Dumbledore. A journal, like a pensive, is a place where you can freely work through challenging moments, express your feelings, and bring clarity and objectivity to decision-making. It's challenging to prioritize 10 competing trains of thought floating around in your mind. Extracting my inner dialogue by writing it down helps me to separate priorities from mental clutter and helps me to emotionally detach from my mental task list or problem that I've been ruminating over. Writing allows problems to live in a physical journal and helps you to symbolically close and let go of things that are out of your control. And I have been known to make some journals, toss them in the fire to experience a kind of emotional catharsis. Writing is also a very therapeutic exercise. James Pennebaker, a professor of psychology at the University of Texas, Austin, has done some interesting research on writing's ability to reduce stress and improve immunity. He investigated the impacts that disclosure through writing has on university students, professionals after a job loss, and victims of serious emotional and physical trauma to find that writing is easy and inexpensive, independent, and relatively universal way for people to resist the mental and physical ravages of stress and disease. I've linked the study in the description. It's worth reading the abstract if you're into that. But in a nutshell, it affirmed my own personal experience that writing is a helpful and effective way to sort through your baggage. Excuse me while I take a drink from my incredibly overpriced water bottle. It was a gift, don't come at me. Words and actions are very different things. I know that I'm guilty of having said one thing and having meant another, or even saying something that my actions contradict. It's instinctive to share the best version of ourselves when we proclaim our values. Actions, however, tell a completely different story. Reflection has helped me find the driving force behind my goals and actions to discover my intrinsic values. The tendency to step back and analyze may be a quirk of my introverted personality, but I think that focused reflection is helpful for even the most outgoing among us to improve our self-understanding and solidify the concept of our aspirational self. I have to work on my posture. I'm basically a hunchback at this point between working at home and talking to you. To build something meaningful, we must have a clear idea of the proposed end product or goal. Keep in mind, this comes from someone who helps build infrastructure projects in their day job. You don't get far without a plan. Articulating what you want is the first step to realizing it. Writing it down dramatically helps to discover the actionable steps to bring your aspirational self from fiction and into reality. Know yourself. You need not fear the result of 100 battles. Getting intimate with your core values is a powerful tool for habit creation. It helps to separate authentic goals from societal expectations. I also get a lot of motivation from knowing that a goal or aspiration resonates with my values and long-term plans. I also think I'm more likely to turn that goal into a routine. I use journaling as an inspirational platform for my goals, but it can also function as a habit tracker. Systems like bullet journaling are a fun and easy way to track your goals. And if you're not interested in downloading the latest habit tracking app, I'll leave a link down in the description to some journaling prompts to refine your goals for the new year. Cataloging your experience is a great way to record pivotal moments in your life, and also to accurately remember the good and the bad without the distortion of faded memory. Currently, I have a journaling collection reaching back over 10 years, and it's a gift to be able to remember and relive experiences through writing. We write to taste life twice, in the moment and in retrospect. We all mentally look back at life through videos and photos, but reading my stream of consciousness rebuilds the memory more vividly than any other medium. That raw emotion and experience is hard to capture through a photo. If we use journaling as a tool to understand ourselves better, it's important to be able to accurately recall our mental and emotional reactions to events so we can learn from them. Before I get into my tips for journaling, I just wanted to say hello to everyone. I solve problems for a living as an engineer and work to bring a systems-based approach to your personal development journey. Hopefully this helps you to create long-lasting habits in your life. So, welcome to Off Brand Bubbly, where we talk about personal development, well-being, and minimalism. If you like this content, hit the thumbs up button so that I'm encouraged to keep making videos, and don't forget to subscribe. New habits, like starting to journal, most easily move from aspiration to routine when you're clear about how it would improve your life. Don't take yourself so seriously. Basically, don't be me. Not every journal entry has to be a novel, and it's sometimes paralyzing to expect ourselves to go from a blank page to long-form journal entries when you're just beginning. So start small and be kind to yourself. If one day you want to make an artistic doodle, go ahead. If in the next you can't think about anything except your to-dos, just write them out. Or if you've had a particularly rough social life this quarantine season, feel free to have an emotional meltdown within the confines of your journal. Find a job you enjoy doing and you will never have to work a day in your life. Part of the reason we often find school, work, or building healthy habits to be drudgery is that we think of them as an obligation. In other words, I have to complete this long, boring paper for my thesis, or I have to run a 5K at the gym so that I don't lose my ab definition. We're often results focused, and it's more helpful to reframe the grunt work and menial tasks as a privilege you get to do to trick your mind to being more productive. In other words, learn to enjoy the process. One example, so if I were in a reading contest, my strategy would be to run right for the fantasy tomes. Not because they're any easier to read, but because I know that I'm having fun while reading them. And when I'm doing that, I become lost in the work and could breeze through 1,000 pages of magic and adventure faster than 200 pages of a self-help book. Reminding myself that I'm lucky and grateful to be working on projects that leave a positive impact on the world helps me to make the more menial tasks enjoyable. Life is just more fun when you enjoy the process. In the context of journaling, I recommend keeping it lighthearted. Use pretty gel pens and cute stickers if you want to engage your inner child. Make a little collage, or even share your New Year's goals and aspirations with a friend. To actually start journaling, just focus on journaling more. You don't have to write the next great piece of literature or have a therapeutic breakthrough in every journal entry you make. Like I said before, it doesn't have to be so serious. You're more likely to journal if you remove some of the friction to just starting. I prefer to journal in physical notebooks, but if that's annoying to you, feel free to download an app on your phone or to just jot down a few thoughts throughout the day on a sticky note. Don't feel that you need to carve out a whole hour for self-reflection. If you have a few minutes, like waiting around in line, you can pull out your phone and just write down what you're thinking at that moment. You can also make some journaling scribbles over lunch or when you're curled up with your journal before bed. Test out different ways to bring the act of journaling into your life and find what feels most natural to you. Then you can set little reminders on your phone, leave your journal in your favorite reflective place, or pick up a new journal and stationery that inspires you. I hope that helps you to kind of get the ball rolling, but here's what I've learned after 10 years of active journaling. I've looked back on my previous journal entries and wished that I had taken the extra 2 seconds to, yes, put something as trivial as the date year down. You never experience the same moments twice, so I encourage you to layer as much detail as you can into your journal entries and to share them with your future self. Unraveling our feelings while writing is not always a pleasant experience, but it's as important to understand your pain as it is your pleasure. Maybe the gaming industry has brainwashed me into thinking that progress is always in the positive direction, up and onward, but in my reality, life has felt more like a labyrinth or a roller coaster. Of course, I recognize a lot of progress and self-improvement when I overcome challenges today that once felt all-consuming. But I also know that I'm very much a work in progress, and my perception of self-worth, tendency to internalize conflict, and struggle to both speak and own my truth are as challenging to me today as they were 10 years ago. I hope that I would have found some magic key along the way, but honestly, I'm still working to optimize the workflow of personal development, and some days it feels more challenging than engineering. So, what's left after a decade of journal entries? Maybe a better sense of self-understanding and a stronger resiliency muscle. But if anyone intended to be completely transformed while recording your life, you're probably asking for too much. There are intrinsic character traits of my self-identity that remain constant despite the time and despite the self-improvement activities. If I've learned anything, it's that reflection is not always about creating change. We can act as our best friend, confidant, and coach through personal writing, and that in itself is productive, positive, and worthwhile. You inevitably experience an evolution over time, but journaling is how you can analyze that, not how you initiate the change. Good luck, everyone, and let me know your favorite journaling prompts in the description below. No, in the comments below.